fragrance collection. I own about 1,000 fragrances. The worth of this collection is about $50,000.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for those that don't know me, I go by the name of HUSTLEMAN. For the people that's tuning in, that's in the fragrance world, that may not know me from interviewing celebrities and all my different hustles, this is something new to me. Not fragrances, but talking about them. I've always been into them, but I didn't realize this was such a thing, so everybody else started doing blogs. I figured, why not try it? Because I'm pretty knowledgeable myself, but I'm a little unorthodox with my way of explaining fragrances, as you'll probably see in this review. But right now I want to give you the top 10 fragrances that are really hard to get. Now, for my fragrance lovers and the people in my fragrance group and other fragrance groups, might not be as hard for you because y'all are professionals, but the average person probably can't get these fragrances so easily. So these are my top 10, and I'm just picking them randomly as I go. I don't even have a list already drawn out, so I'm just winging it right now. Number 10. This right here. Let me see. I thought I had it already open, so y'all just bear with me for a second. I could have swore I had one already open, and I think I don't. I'm looking at my shelf. The stuff you see behind me is just, you know, for visionary purposes, but for those that don't know, I am a retailer. So I have access to a lot of things the average person probably wouldn't be able to get so easily, and especially at the price I'm getting it for. Now this one is, I'm gonna try my best to say this. As you can see, this is gonna be a little more difficult, but I would say Anna Awa Nusik. One of those Middle Eastern fragrances. A lot of people are scared of the Middle Eastern fragrances because most of them have a lot of musk, or they have a real strong oud. But this right here, relatively cheap. However you say it. Maybe somebody can comment, let me know the proper way to say this fragrance. But my supplier gave me the backstory on this one. This, from my understanding, if he's telling me the truth, and he usually has stories to fragrances, this is made for kings. Specifically made for kings. So not just because the bottle looks like this, they specifically make this for kings. This is not going to be in any stores. You may find it online, but it's very hard to find online. And this smells so good. I haven't been able to find what notes are in it, but it puts you in the mind. It's masculine, but it puts you in the mind. Another one that puts you in the mind of Creed Aventus, Dior Sauvage. It's in that realm of masculine fragrances, maybe YSLY. It reminds you of all those. The opening is a bit strong, but it dries down pretty quick. It lasts a really long time. This is my number 10, however you say it. Number 9. This, believe it or not, is very hard to get. I'm not taking this out the box. This was a gift. I have little sample bottles of this, so that's what I will wear when I decide to wear it. But this is Club de Nuit Intense Man, but this is the perfume. This is a limited edition. My supplier gave this to me as a gift. I still have the gift bag. I actually have a Club de Nuit gift bag, the whole nine, and you see it's all nice and everything. And you may see these on eBay for as high as $100 or more, because this is very hard to find. Club de Nuit Intense Man, the perfume version, which is a limited edition. So y'all probably thought the original was a perfume because it's so strong and lasts so long, but it's actually a toilette. So this right here smells pretty much exactly like the original, but it may have a little bit more sweetness to it, but it's pretty much the same. Performance the same, but just for the fact that it's really rare, I decided to show it on this video. All right. Now, this is not super hard to find, but you won't walk in a store and find this. This is Jean-Paul Gaultier's Beau. This smells so good. And I have learned Jean-Paul is one of my favorite fragrance houses, if not my favorite. It may be my favorite. It's affordable, smells really good. I like the sweetness, I like the fruitiness. This is very fruity. I believe one of the top notes is pear, but to be honest, I'm not gonna name a whole lot of notes in my reviews, because a lot of these notes people don't care as much. Maybe real deal deep driven fragrance lovers, they just want to know how good it smells. So if it's something that I know the notes, I may mention it, but if I don't, I'm just going to tell you what it smells like. And it smells like nothing I ever smelled before. It's fruity, sweet. It lasts pretty good. Longevity, you'll probably get 6 hours in cold weather, maybe even 8 or more, because I just wore it and it is January right now, and I just wore this not too long ago, and it lasted way longer than it did in the summertime when I wore it. But this is something I believe you can wear anytime. This is Jean-Paul Gaultier Beau. Jean-Paul Gaultier Beau. This is a lovely fragrance. It's not as hard to find as some of the others I'm gonna name, but you won't just walk into a store more than likely and find this. If you do, I suggest you grab it immediately, because it is not readily available. And from my understanding, Jean-Paul Gaultier is doing limited distribution on a lot of their fragrances. The next one I'm going to show you is one of my favorites, London Oud number 3. That's the box. Now look at this bottle. This bottle is crazy. The quality, like, I wouldn't drop this on the floor just to see if it'll break, but this bottle is so thick. You can tell usually by the bottle the quality is going to be. And this is another one of those fragrances that smells just like Baccarat Rouge 540. It may be a little lighter, but it lasts a really long time, smells just like it. Very hard to find. This is one for the UK. It's very hard to find in the US. People are raising the prices like crazy because it's so hard to find. It's several of these London ouds, like it's a ton of them. But this one right here is the one that everybody loves, the people who can get their hands on it. You're definitely not gonna find this in a store, and if you find this online, they're probably overseas somewhere, and if they're in the United States, they trying to really knock your head off with the price. This one is very good. If you're a fan of the Baccarat Rouge 540, you will love this one. Smells just like it, long lasting, trust me. So if you ever see this, don't pay over $200 for it. Matter of fact, just hit me up. I'll hook y'all up with any of these. It's not a sales pitch, I'm just doing a review, but also letting you know you can hit me up. And that was, let's see where we at because I stopped giving the numbers. Number 10, number 9, number 8. So that was number 7. All right. We're not gonna get into that one. I'm picking them as I go, so y'all hold tight for a second. Here's one that I know you don't know about. The average person, I posted this in fragrance groups, like nobody could give me a review or give me their opinion because nobody hardly smelled it. This is Rayon Traditions Masculine Kingdom. This smells so good. This is so amazing. Like, this is one of my favorite fragrances. It has a ton of notes. I remember I looked it up, and probably every good note, fruity, aquatic, ocean notes, sweet notes, everything that you love in a fragrance is in this. I guess somebody just said, what's all the fragrances that everybody love, and put it in this fragrance. Masculine Kingdom. My supplier, this is another one with a backstory. From my understanding, I may get corrected later. I'm going by my supplier, and he usually knows what he's talking about. Yeah, and also if you notice before I get into the story, it is kind of like the Versace fragrances. It got the magnetic top. It looks very similar, but they actually make this for retailers per order. So I can't remember the exact amount that you have to order, but they make this per order. So you're not gonna find this online. You're not gonna find it in a store because you probably have to order 1,000 bottles or more, whatever it is. So very limited, very limited. Number 6, Masculine Kingdom. One of the best fragrances you'll ever, or should I say never smell. Very exclusive. If you can get your hands on it, you are a lucky person. All right, that was number 6. Number 5. And y'all probably know about this one. Rayon Ideal. I know some of y'all gonna say ideal, just like y'all say savage for sauvage. But let me tell you, and I keep my boxes. A lot of people ask, do you keep your boxes or whatever? Even if it's my personal fragrance, I still keep the box because I might sell it one day, especially these extremely rare ones. They might give me a pretty penny, so you can get what you really want if you still have the box. And I like to keep the bottles nice and clean, and you know, I'm a real fragrance enthusiast. So And this is the Orepaw Long Adl. This I recently just got. It has a cherry note in it that picks up immediately. As soon as you spray it, you smell the cherry lasts. This fragrance lasts a really long time. Some people say the cherry is a bit much. It's not to me. This fragrance is so amazing. It was just too many people saying it was good, so I had to try it out. I actually could never get my hands on it as a retailer, so I went ahead and paid close to retail price for it. And if I ever sell it, I'm selling it way more than what I paid for it because I don't want to sell it. This smells really good. It has that vanilla in it. It's definitely a good winter fragrance, but to be honest, I don't go buy winter fragrances. Now, some that's heavy in vanilla, some of those, that's what I mainly would call a winter fragrance. And those I probably would save for winter, but something like this is no way I could just wear this in the winter time. It's too awesome. And if you can get your hands on it, get it. This is something popular, so a lot of people may have it, but more than likely you're not going in the store and find this, especially the Orepaw. You're not gonna find that very easily. But these are all blind buys. Some of these, matter of fact, everything I'm showing today, most of it you can get for around $100 or less. None of these are just super outrageous. They're just hard to find. So that was number 5. I'm trying to keep up. Number 4. Now this is not super hard to get. You're just probably gonna have to get it online because I have yet to find a store with it in stock. Versace Era de Parfum. Yes, the perfume version of the parfum, or however you want to say it. I'm from the country. I'm from a place called Valdosta, Georgia, and it really don't get no more country. And you gonna hear that slang, swang, twang in my voice, but it's all good because you can say what you want, but you can't call me stank. Cause I'm smelling good around here. I'm trying to make sure everybody else smell good. Versace Era Orepaw. This smells amazing. I thought nothing could touch the original, but this did. This is one of those fruity fragrances, but it's still masculine. Still clean. It's definitely a must-have, but if it's too hard for you to find, but you can get your hand on the EDT, go ahead and get the EDT version because it smells really good too. But if you can go ahead and order this, I suggest you order it because it's really good. Now, some people may say, oh man, you shouldn't have that in the hard to get, but I have yet. I'm going by what I've seen, and I'm in Atlanta, Georgia right now. I have yet to go in a store because I was willing to pay retail price for it if I could have found it. Macy's, Bloomingdale's, Neiman Marcus, nobody had the perfume. So just by me searching for it, it was really hard. Now my supplier has it, so I have it in stock, but it's still, when it runs out, it's very hard to get. A lot of these people, since COVID is going on, a lot of these warehouses, these fragrance warehouses are shutting down. Or they only can work so many people at a time, so it's kind of difficult to keep the product going. All right, so let me do count again. It's kind of hard because I didn't have this already planned. Actually, I'm doing this whole thing on a whim because I've talked about doing a fragrance blog, and I go live all the time on Facebook talking about fragrances, but I haven't set my camera up and actually did a real blog until now, and this was very random. So y'all be patient with me. Let me see where I'm at. So we done number 10, we done number 9, we done number 8, we done number 7, we done number 6, done number 5. Let me see, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so this is number 4. This is number 4. My top 10 hard to get fragrances for men, and I didn't mention that either. For men, these we'll do one for the females later, but right now we're doing the ones for men. Number 4. Number 2 on my top 10 list of favorite fragrances. Haramain Amber Oud Rouge. I absolutely love this fragrance. It is not going to be in any stores. It's another one that smells like Baccarat Rouge 540, but I smelled this before I smelled Baccarat. So when I did smell Baccarat, it made it less impressive because to me, this may be a little better than the Baccarat. So I never changed my top 10 list. Now see, that's the thing with me, Creed Aventus, and y'all can kill me for this because y'all probably think I'm just saying this, but Creed Aventus so far is the best fragrance I ever smelled, so it's still number 1 on my top 10. I smell Club de Nuit. A lot of people hate on Club de Nuit, but to me, it's almost spot on. I mean, like 99% spot on the Creed Aventus, but I won't change my top 10 because I smelled Creed first and fell in love with it. And so far, I haven't smelled anything that can knock it off its throne. It's number 1, it's upper echelon, and I absolutely love it. But at the number 4 spot, Haramain Amber Oud Rouge. Baccarat 540. It's sweet. A lot of people say cotton candy, and I absolutely can see it. Cotton candy is unisex, but I promise you, I've never seen a unisex fragrance so good on either sex. Like, the men love it, the women love it, and it is definitely number 2 on my top 10. Usually it's love at first smell. I haven't seen anybody not to love it. So that was number 4. I'm trying to decide. I'm deciding as I go. I don't have a list already put together of what order I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna save that one for last. Yeah, I hope y'all didn't see what I just picked up, because it was one in a can, so you know what that's gonna be. But we're gonna go with number 3, Armani Mania. Armani Mania, Giorgio Armani. Giorgio Armani. This has been discontinued. Everybody wants it, and I have seen this go as high as $250. Y'all probably see me leaning my head because I'm trying to look at the screen to see if it's cleared up enough where you can see the bottle. Hopefully it has. I see a lot of bloggers do that and it be blurry and then it clear up. We got those DSLR or whatever cameras, and that's how they work when they on autofocus. So if y'all ever wondered that, it's not a special trick or something they doing. It's how the camera operates. So when you hold something out like that, it has to focus in when it's on autofocus. And then when you take it away, it got to focus back on you. So I'm more of a camera guy than a fragrance guy, but the neck. But anyway, Armani Mania, this smells so good. I'll actually spray some of this on right now. And give it a little distance too. Some of y'all be spraying, and don't do that. Y'all be rubbing your... I had to learn all this stuff in the beginning. I didn't know what I was doing. But once I started selling fragrances, I started to pick up on a lot of do's and don'ts. But give it a little distance. Let it mist. Don't rub it in. Especially when you're spraying something that's... When you're spraying something that's kind of hard to get like this, I probably won't wear this anymore this week. Like, I'm really just doing this for visuals because this is extremely hard to get. Armani Mania. My number 3, this smells so good. Man, this smells so good, y'all. Definitely one of my favorite fragrances. Giorgio Armani really never lets you down. So if you had the choice to pick that up, if you ever seen that, skip everything. Not just because it's discontinued, but because it is magnificent. It's you know, all these fragrances have a little woody when it dry down, a little woody scent. And I don't know the notes in it. All I can say is it may be a little citrusy stuff in it, little citrusy notes, but whatever it is, just trust me, it smells really good. I know that's not protocol for fragrance bloggers, but I don't want to look at a piece of paper and tell you the notes. I don't want to look it up on my phone. You can do that. That's what I do when I watch bloggers or when I see people in the fragrance groups talking about a fragrance. I go to Fragrantica or whatever and look up the notes if I want to really know the notes. All I'm telling you is what smells really good, and that's number 3, so that tells you it smells really good. I'm not so much going by what's the hardest to find. I'm also going by how good it is. So that is both. Number 3, it's extremely hard to find and it smells extremely good. And it has a pretty decent longevity. You might get 5 or 6 hours maybe. But when it's a fragrance that good, people kill a fragrance because the longevity isn't the greatest. Just reapply. It's some fragrances that smell so good that don't last probably 2 or 3 hours. Creed Vintage doesn't last that long, but it smells so good. So what? Sometimes it wins in the smell good department, so you can never mind with the longevity. All right, I just recently got this one, number 2. Number 2. Some people may call it. Now this from the fragrance house of Rojas. The EDT version, super cheap. This version, you may pay in the uppers of $100. But let me show y'all something. I actually managed to get my hand on the whole gift set. This is Mustache, some may call it Mustache. But from the House of Rojas. This right here, this is the EDP version. This is the one that the internet goes crazy for. You definitely will not find this in a store ever. I only sprayed this once since I had it. Man, I may have to tell you the notes on this one because I can't even, I have no clue. Now, I don't know which note would be required to call it a boozy fragrance. I don't think I ever heard anybody call it a boozy, but to me it does smell kind of boozy. But let me see what is the notes. And you see, I'm not gonna do this too often and tell you the notes. I'm just telling you what's a good fragrance. I definitely smelled the vanilla, but I wanted to see what the other top notes. Mandarin, orange, and pink pepper. That's the top notes. Bulgarian rose and Atlas cedar is the middle notes. Benzoin, vanilla, and patchouli is the base notes. Now let me tell you something. This is my key to knowing a good fragrance. If it has patchouli and most of the time bergamot, it's going to be a good fragrance 9 times out of 10. That's how I roll. If I don't know, if I haven't smelled it, patchouli and bergamot usually, to me so far, I haven't smelled a horrible fragrance with those notes. But yeah, Mustache, or however you want to say it, from the House of Rojas. This is number 2 on my top 10 hard to get fragrances. And number 1, I'm not sure if this has limited distribution or has it totally been discontinued. I'm hearing different things, and if they discontinue this, they are crazy. This is JEANPAUL Gautier's Ultramale or Ultramale, or however you want to say it. Man, this is number 3 on my top 10 favorite fragrances. I absolutely love it. I hope it's not discontinued, but I have a bottle, and once I found out it was discontinued, I stopped using it so heavily. I love this fragrance. This is one of the best fragrances you ever smell. It is fruity, but something about JEANPAUL Gaultier fragrances, a lot of them are fruity, but they're still masculine. So this is number 1 on my top 10. It's number 3 on my favorite fragrances. And I did a little research and found out that Mason Francis Kurkdjian had his hand in this fragrance. So if you don't know, that's who makes the Baccarat Rouge 540. And you kind of see where I'm going. I'm probably need to research this guy and do a history report, because Mason Francis Kurkdjian, I'm loving almost everything that he's had a hand in. And this is one of them that he's had a hand in. So thank y'all for tuning in. This has been my top 10 favorite fragrances. Let me know how I did. I just went out on a whim, no rehearsal, just turned the camera on, recorded, as you probably can tell. I seem very unprepared, but I'm a fragrance lover, and I hope y'all continue to tune in, because I'm gonna do more of these. But if you've seen anything on here, if I still have it available, you can't get my last one unless you pay a pretty penny. But if I still have some available, you can purchase some of these fragrances from me. And a lot of these bloggers are low-key retailers also, but I'm not in this just for the money, so I'm gonna tell you the truth. If it doesn't smell good, I'm gonna tell you it doesn't smell good. If it does, I would tell you it does. So I'm a little different when it comes to retailer. I'm not gonna push anything. Nobody can pay me to do a good review. If it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. And for everybody who's tuning in that ever smelled these fragrances that I talked about, you probably know how rare they are and how awesome they smell. So thank y'all for tuning in. Depending on what you're tuning in to, subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll holler at y'all later. Lifestyles of the Rich and Fragrance, baby. Let's go.